Ryan once said,
Trading is like going to war in a sense, right? So you don't go to war without a plan.
this is why Ryan built a proven trading plan, and it's already transforming lives. These reviews from real members say it all, directly from Trustpilot, where our members give 5-star reviews about the Substack, course, and community. Don't trade without a plan. Subscribe to Substack now. Conquer the markets.
Yo, what's up? How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. It's an amazing day. I hope everybody had a good one. I know we did. Discord room was rocking. First, before we get started, you know what we got to do. If you have not followed me yet, please check out my socials here. Ryan Bailey Edge across YouTube, X, and Substack. It's all the same. Keep it branded. Keep it clean. Follow me. I try to post as much stuff as possible on Twitter and Substack throughout the day. I'm loving Substack, though. I got to be honest. The algorithm actually likes me over there. It's so difficult with damn Twitter. So Substack's treating me right. So I'm liking it. And also, these streams get uploaded on all 3 platforms as well. And so just check it out when you get an opportunity. And let's get right into it, shall we? So yesterday was crazy. Their stream, my apologies, first off. I looked at the time yesterday and I saw I'd been on for what I thought it said 29 minutes and it was 19 minutes. I was like, oh, time's up. Whoop, and I got off of there. So that was my bad. So yesterday was a little short. Today we'll make up for it. Okay. So yesterday, though, was quite interesting. So I kept preaching about how I said, man, we've pushed up 3 days in a row. We're in this huge weekly area. I'm feeling like we're going to make all-time highs, but if there is ever a time to be concerned, this is the spot. And lo and behold, we got a pullback today. And it wasn't insane, but it was a pullback nonetheless. It's our first one that we've had in a while. And it was kind of decent. Came right into the spot that we talked about yesterday on the stream. And so if you were paying attention, you may not like a bandit, okay? So I want to get into a few cues that we had. And also, I have a lot of people in the Discord room and really a lot of Substack subscribers who watch every single one of these. So we're going to go through a few things that I noticed this morning that played out beautifully, just so that you can see exactly where my mind was at and how we were putting this together, okay? So let me pull up the first example here. And I think I'm going to start with this one. So we've talked about Bitcoin 100 times. Ryan, Bitcoin. Yeah, we know. Okay, well, when we started out the day, we were nice up. We were up 2% off of this area that I literally talked about in the stream right here. Okay, and that was literally the high at the open, and they dumped. And when I was watching this, when I put this out at 8:30 or 8 o'clock, whenever it came out, it was looking fairly bullish. I was anticipating at least to see 106, and it didn't happen. And this started to peel off to the downside essentially immediately after we opened up, which was pretty interesting to me. So this was a first indication to me that I was like, okay, could be an issue. And the main reason that I say that is because you guys have heard me talk about this 100 times before. As long as all risk assets are correlated, we have no reason to be concerned. Well, guess what? We were up 25 points when I wrote this in the morning. Bitcoin was up to almost 2%. Had no reason to be concerned. But the trade plan is always designed to not give a bias. It is designed to say, okay, if this happens, this is what we do. Below this, this is what we do. And there's a reason for it because things can change on a dime, just like you've seen here. The next thing we're going to talk about is VIX. All right. So this was in the morning. We were down here. This did not happen. Look, 9 o'clock, 9:15. Okay. We are back underneath the significant monthly level at 1735. So this was, for me, this was extremely bullish, right? So for resistance, if we get above 1735, watch for a slight pullback in the indices. As soon as we popped above here, I told everybody in the Discord room, hey, this thing is ripping. Be careful, right? So this is my first indication that something was going on, right? We have nothing to worry about unless we get above our significant daily at 1801, which could cause a sharp move down. Well, where did we head to? 1801, the same one that gave us resistance all day long and brought us down. So guys, if you're paying attention to this in the trade plans, when you read this stuff, look at these assets that I'm using as correlation. The moment you saw this pop above 1735, we knew we were in trouble, and you should have known it too, which I'm sure a lot of you did. Obviously, in the Discord room, we had this well under control, which is a big perk. If you're a subscriber, hit me up. No doubt, get you in there. It's the place to be. We have a lot of people doing good things in there. So 1801 was once again the ceiling. We called it. It was great. And this happens to be the low of the day, which is another trade we talked about. So we'll get into that as well. But this is what I was wanting to show you guys. So this was the very first resistance/support that was in the trade plan today. Okay. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up. When I put this plan out, we still had 40 minutes until the 1 hour close. For you guys know who I trade, everything's pretty much based on candles other than understanding where we're at in value. So for me, it's about what do we close below, what do we close above to confirm strength, etc. So right here, the immediate pivot, 1 hour pivot, 68.98.25. That was our top right there. Let me see if I can get my pin to work today. 68.98.25. I want to see the 1 hour candle close above this level. If it does, it'll make the 1885 long setup viable, right? So here is the 1885, right? Well, is my pin going to work? No, you bastard. Unbelievable. All right. It hates me. I got to get a new pin, guys, because this thing is just no good. So the idea behind this whole thing was if we close with strength above 68.98, I would have been looking to take the long at 68.55 or 68.85, but we didn't. As you can see right here, we actually rejected from it, closed below, which immediately caused this thing to make at least a new low. And it ended up making a new low on the pivot to the high, okay, which was exactly what we were looking for the moment this happened. And again, you'll see right here, this was the first spot in the key support area as well. I said, we have a developing long at 68.85. It is developing. This is only viable if we get the close on the 1 hour candle above 68.98.25. The moment you guys saw this, you should have been looking and said, where did the 1 hour candle close? Oh, it didn't close above 68.98. I'm not taking the 85 long, right? That was our first indication. We had some serious weakness in this market for just immediate continuation to the upside. And I'll admit, I came into this day fairly bullish, but this was my first indication that things were a little off, okay? By this time, I'm looking at Bitcoin come down. I'm also looking at VIX spike above the 1735. But that being said, we still stick to the plan, okay? So this was a phenomenal way for you to save yourself some money, not take the unnecessary long, to even get an indication that, hey, if we didn't close above this, and he doesn't want to take a long at 68.85, we're probably coming lower. I know, shocker, right? All right, so that was beautiful. And everybody scored on that one in the room. Nobody took the long. We were all looking for lower, which is exactly what we thought yesterday. So pretty awesome. Now, the very first long of the day, and I went ahead and cut all this out because I took these pictures after the market was closed. And so I was trying to just make it as clear as possible. The very first long, which could have been the long to save the day, and it didn't, right? At this point, we had Bitcoin coming down, VIX was spiking, some other things were happening. But I called this in the room. This was in the plan. Everybody knows I was long. I told them I'm small long here, looking to take profits around 84, okay? I think that's where I ended up taking my first target. I did have runners up here that did get stopped out, but I always trade my plan, and so that was the deal. So we were looking for the test around 71, 73 area, 72, 75, I'm going to call it 73. We had the daily at 72 right down here, right? And it was technically tested last night in Globex. So I was like, a little sketchy, but it had not been tested in the cash session. So I was willing to give it a poke, and I did, right? So really what we were looking for here was the buy or the trigger on this level was to get acceptance above 77, which was right here. This was our long. So it was only like 3 points, and we were taking profits up into here. Now, I had resting orders down here. I was long from 75 and 74. That was like almost the bottom tick. And I had added into it, and I had ended up having, my profits in here somewhere. But then I took a stop below on the remainder. So we did get one trade off. The trade plan paid for 10 on that one. Done. And on to the next one. So we talked about in the room as well. I said, hey, if this doesn't hold, we are more than likely coming to 55. Well, guess where we came? And not only that, but the best part of it was in the room, if you were there, which a lot of you probably were, you know, as soon as we hit this, I immediately said, hey guys, this is probably the bottom for the day. Okay, this is probably it. This is a good spot for it. So we had the stacked alpha long. This is stacked. I like it a lot. It includes a 4 hour at 55 and a 4 hour at 51 and 1 hour levels at 52 and 50. Okay, now we're looking for this to play and get over 61. Well, first off, 61 played first and popped up to 72. Okay, and then it ended up coming back down and we played 55. And actually this chart only shows the full aftermath because it's a 1 hour. Let me show you what actually happened here. This is a 15-minute. So we played the 55, and I actually took this as well. Everybody in the room was with me on this. I was resting right here, took the 55 because I was willing to buy 55 and the 50s area. We took this all the way up to 71, and I got flat here. Let me see if I can turn on my, no, you see it right there. Okay. And then we came back down, played the 52 area, and I'm sure you just saw my orders there. As soon as we got back above 55, we got long again and rode this up. I took some here, and then I ended up catching this retest right here and bringing it all the way up to 82. So I was able to get here. When it popped up, pulled back, I jumped back in, and then we took it all the way up to the highs, which was awesome. So this was a phenomenal trade. This was called out obviously way in advance. And we talked about this yesterday in the post-market breakdown. This was the level I wanted to buy in the afternoon. I never came back to it. So obviously when we got back to it today, it was phenomenal. And, you know, I was talking to a new member in the stream. They're like, what is so special about this level? Well, 55 has been really important for a long time for us. It's an ETH daily. It's a 4 hour. We like it. Many times it's been resistance. It provided a huge smack not too long in the distant past. And then 52, 55 area, you can see right here, this created a short not once, but twice. So because it got a reaction both times from the bottom up, I was willing to buy this with both hands if we got back down there. And I did. Unfortunately, I was a little light. I didn't quite get the size I wanted on this, but hey, it worked, and it worked fantastic. From 52 to 85, if you held the whole thing, we're talking about a 30-point pop from the lows, and we called the low of the day. So that was also really nice. And again, like I said, we talked about this yesterday in the post-market breakdown. So even for those of you guys who are not Substack subscribers, you should have been all over this one for sure. Now, here was some other confluence. Now, for those of you guys who are following along the plans, I put the level. I always put a picture of SPX. I have a lot of SPX traders in my that subscribe to the plan, and there's a reason for it. Okay, the levels are juice. Now, this 68.32 is the same 4 hour that we played down there at 55. Okay, you can see this was the 50, and this was the sweep in the 52. Okay, this was a solid level. Now we had SPX line up perfectly for us, and we had the 4 hour, 1 hour cluster on ES. So this was phenomenal. You know, we essentially sold off most of the day or most of the morning, come down, played our level, and brought us right back up into here. So what's going to happen tomorrow? It's hard to say. But for now, the trade plan is looking really good. And we had another phenomenal day of catching the low. We were very cautious at the high. We essentially got every trade that was set up today. And so certainly no complaints from this peanut gallery. Now, what is going to happen tomorrow? That is a really fantastic question. You know, right now, I'm still very much bullish. And we have talked about some levels lower, but I want to talk about this again. The coin, the Bitcoin. You know, this guy right here is not giving me warm and fuzzy vibes. Now, we do have a very nice spot down here around 96 that I would be willing to buy if we come down in here. I don't know where all my levels went. It's kind of strange. I'm going to have to rechart again. But this thing can come lower. That's the ultimate idea here. And why I say that is this was the daily level that we took for the long. As you can see, this is our leg up. We tested this, and then we popped up. We tested this yesterday. We popped up. If they close below here, we lose support on the daily time frame. There'd be a good chance that they will come make new lows, especially if we close below this here. This would be in real big trouble. So, but I would assume that if we close below this one, it'll be good enough. This is our big monthly. This is the level that I've been watching to go back and forth. So this has me a little on tilt, just to be honest about it right now. The other thing that I'm really looking at pretty heavily is VIX. So right now we're back above our really significant monthly, which may or may not be a problem. We'll see where we end up with tomorrow. They are now talking about the government. They're like, now they don't know if they're going to open. I just saw some news. It's kind of funny. It's always wishy-washy back and forth, but we're going to have to monitor where we're at with this 1735. Okay. Obviously, as you can see, 1801 is going to be our ceiling right here on the daily. And then, if we move below this 1735, we're going to get a pretty nice tailwind. But if we continue to stay here and even above 1801, the next untested resistance I have is 1950, and above 1801 is going to push us down. Okay. So we got to be real mindful of that. And I'm really watching this heavily. Obviously, Bitcoin's in trouble. And I'm not ultimately like, oh my God, Bitcoin's in trouble, we're going to crash on the ES. That's not how I look at it. And you guys know that. I'm simply looking at it on a case-by-case basis. If this thing is weak, then we have a tendency to be weak in the indices. The VIX is a more direct correlation, which I'm watching constantly, looking for the highs and lows. And this 1735 is going to be a biggie, and 1801 above this is going to be big. So look for where we open at in the morning, okay? Going to be a big deal for us here. So I hope you like that. I hope you really enjoyed the trade plan today. I don't think it could have been any better. We just continue to nail the hits over and over and over again. Tomorrow is going to be a great plan as well. I really hope we can get down in here to this 22. If they play the 22.19 and reclaim this 29.32 area, this thing is going to fucking launch. And I hope that that's what happens. I really do. I'm loving this bull run. I think it's just fun. It's fun. This has got to be one of the most hated rallies of all time. People just hate it. And it's so easy to buy. I don't understand what the problem is, but with that being said, again, I'll admit, I like a rotational market. I like a market that goes both ways. But this certainly isn't one of those things. And it's not designed to be. So, we can catch the down moves, but you're always going to have a better opportunity catching the long. So with that being said, this is the daily that we've talked about 100 times over at 68.22. This is going to be the big boy, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to make all the difference in the world for us. If we're going to continue to move higher, we're going to play this and hold it and continue to go all the way up to 08. And if not, then we're more than likely going to come down quite a bit. Okay. And when I say quite a bit, I don't really know how far. I have some untested support in here, and you'll just have to stick with the trade plans and see how it rolls. Okay. So, for right now, I'm looking up with kind of short-term down, right? So we played this significant area, and now I've got, let me just pull this over here. I always like the 4-hour better. So we played our big 51 spot, change this to tested, change this to tested. So this is our big monster valley right here. This was the support over here. Now we do have this 41. For whatever reason, and it looks fine on the 1 hour, I just don't like this. I just don't like it. I don't know. I don't like the way that closed. It's not within my process. I'm just not a fan of it. So I'm going to be careful when we come down here, but that doesn't mean it won't play because it's deep in the valley and it could be all right. But this 4 hour at 1975, this is where the daily's at too. This is the juice. So we want to see this play, get back above 32, and we should be off and running at least till back up in the 08 area here. So I hope everybody has been benefiting, especially from these post-market breakdowns. I've been handing out some jewels in here. So, a lot of the stuff I talk about, I should be saving for the trade plans, but I don't, just because we got 30 minutes to fill, and that's what's up. So now we're going to talk about something completely different. Now we're going to talk about a stock that I've been looking at, and we've been talking about Chipotle for some time. And, I got some guys in the room who've been buying it, and by all means, buy it. We are in a very significant support down here. We played the monthly leg tip. Look at this, 29.66. They were actually at 5% today, I believe is what it was. Yep, 5% off of this pop. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, guys, just so you can see what's going on here. So we came down, we played this little leg tip here, and immediately reclaimed this low, okay, and shot back up. Now we've created a daily leg up right here at 30.39. This would be a fantastic place to buy if you were looking to buy the retest. But this thing is really in the gutter. I was just measuring it before we got on here because I was looking for a little something to talk about. It's down 60% from the all-time high. Now I know that this company they reported bad outlook because people are they're tight on money. Money's tight for everybody. So they're reporting that people aren't spending as much as they used to, and they might have to change what they're doing as far as maybe giving people some more food for their money or lowering the prices. Oh, God forbid. But that's what they're talking about, which really sent the stock down hard. But as you can see, this 29.66 played, and it played really nice. And we're starting to get back in this, really significant area here. And, just for shits and giggles, I don't really do this too much. Let's just try this. I try to have most of this stuff ready to go by the time we get on here, but let's just freestyle a little bit. Session volume profile. Let's see where we're at in terms of value. I want to do visible range. So really, we are really in the point of control area right here. Actually, we're sitting right on top of it. And once they get back above this $32 area, we're really going to start getting some momentum here. This should look really interesting. Yeah, this is the $32 spot. Once we get back above this, we've got an extremely large amount of area to fill in. And, this stock is actually good. I don't know if you guys remember, but this thing used to be like $3,000. And they split. They did a 50-to-1 split, which brought the prices way down so that people could actually afford it. But let's find out what that means for Chipotle. Does that make it, if it's 50-to-1 and it's $31, and I know that it was $3,000 at one time, 31 and some change, does that make this thing basically $1,500 pre-split? I think it does. Just doing, basic math. Let's see here, $31 times 50. Yeah. So this is, again, I guess we could have figured that out from being down over 50% here. But yeah, this is essentially now it's $1,500 pre-split, which is crazy that after the split they brought it down this far. But just an unbelievable value. If you guys are looking to buy some good stock, this might be a good one. This might be a good area. How much farther lower can it go? I guess the answer is it can go to zero, but will it? That's Chipotle. Doubt it. I really like the way they played this leg tip at the very lows down here. This is just, what a great grab. So really over $32, this thing could get some Momo to the upside. So that is the deal for this. I really like this. Okay. So I'm going to do something special. Actually, there's a guy in the room that is gold. We talked about him before, TML. He trades gold in the morning. He's up in the middle of the night with his kid. And that's when this thing's moving and shaking. So I have not charted this yet. So I figure I'll just do this on stream with you guys. TML, this one's for you, buddy. So we got this weekly up here, bud. This is just going to be a target. Reason I say that is we haven't lost on the weekly time frame. So just keep an eye on that as far as a target and to be above or below. It is a great spot. But we came down and we played this 38.97, which was basically the $3,900 spot that I called for a long time. This was a great buy. We sat down here, distributed, and we've just been holding. So, they're starting to, after they accepted value, they're coming back up. And let's just look and see what we got to play to get back long again here. Obviously, this thing's going to be moving here. So let's see what we got. I like that. I like this. Let's see what we got. This is kind of rare. You guys never get to see me do this. Hopefully this will help some people out. Boom. So here's the epic buys down here. If they can pull back into here, I'm not so certain they will. All right. I don't even really like that, but I'll leave it there. All right, TML, here you go. Your resistance to the upside, 42.33.9. This is your 4-hour spot. We also have this little sub leg over here. There you go, that we're touching right now at 62 or 42.18. If we pull back, 41.48, 41.32 looks pretty nice. Let me check this. This one is even a little iffy. I would probably not count that. You would really want to see this hold and not lose the low here. I know it's $20, but it is what it is. You can figure it out on a smaller time frame. And then the other ones are down here. So if you want to play continuation here, man, 41.48. Other than that, we come down into the 40.65 or 40.38. This 40.38 is going to be a fantastic retest. I really like this area quite a bit. I will set some alarms for the room here so that we can play the progression on this, and that will be a good one. So that's it. That's what we got for the day. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you are not a subscriber to the Substack, please check out the link in this that I just tweeted, or it's retweeted rather, or the link in the description here. You can sign up for 30 days free to the Substack if you're not a current Substack subscriber. Most people who are Substack subscribers end up wanting to be Discord members. I'm more than happy to let you guys check that out, but you need to be a Substack subscriber first. Okay. And the other thing is guys, if you are a comped Substack subscriber and you're like, I want to come into the Discord room, you can subscribe early. You're still going to get all your comp days, right? So let's say you got 20 days left of you and you're like, man, this trade plan's the shit. I'm ready to subscribe because I want to come in the Discord room. Just subscribe. You still get the 20 days extra you had. You don't lose them, and you don't get billed until after. And then just shoot me a DM. I'll have you come into the Discord room, check it out, send you a link, and give it a ride for a week, see what's up. Everybody that's been in there loves it. We've got a lot of great new reviews on Trustpilot. Check it out. Just really feeling the vibe. People are loving the plans. The room's making money. Everybody's happy. And I hope everybody's been enjoying these post-market breakdowns. Please leave a comment, like, retweet. Help me out here, guys. As long as I know that you guys are finding value in this stuff, it keeps me motivated to keep doing it. I appreciate you guys showing up. I can see quite a few people right now are watching. Show me some love. Shoot me some comments. Tell me what's up. So other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Trade plan will be out at 8:30 in the morning. And tomorrow's another day. Cheers. Have a good one.